Welcome back to Anipeeps, your go-to destination for anything anime and manga related. I'm one of your co-hosts, Boom, and as always, the boy Boggs Benny. Just us two today, but we got a little crafty one for you guys. A little break from anime and more so manga related topics.
Yeah, and this should be a nice and short one. We'll just be talking about manga.
Mm-hmm.
I guess today we'll just be talking about three manga. I guess you could call them recommendations, or more of like just three mangas that we have either read or we're currently reading that we enjoy.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, so
And they're not necessarily hidden gems, right? Like I feel like,
yeah,
but they're
I think
still.
a lot of mine. I'm about like the three I'm gonna talk about is at least fairly known.
Gotcha. Yeah,
Um,
I think the ones I picked are fairly known too, but just
yeah.
in case you're new to the manga, right, or just trying to transition from anime to manga, it's just a good starting points.
And if you heard about these mangas, hopefully we could provide a bit more detail and kind of convince you to actually decide to read it. So,
Cheers,
without
cheers.
further ado, here's a quick picture of the day.
Oh, meme of the
Um,
day.
Snobby manga readers who, um, I guess this is reversed. This isn't what happened in the anime at all. I
Yeah,
guess this is
no,
when
it's
people from
snobby
anime.
anime. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
I pictured it just the way the guy looks. He's saying manga. This isn't what happened in
yeah,
the anime.
manga.
Manga.
But
Yeah.
yeah, I think we all know that person who. Um, I think more so the opposite, where they're the snobby manga readers. They point out every little inconsistency between the anime and manga,
Yeah,
but
but there are true animes too. They're like, nah, I don't mess with the manga.
yeah, yeah.
But yeah,
I mean, to each of their own. We won't be judging anyone's opinions, but each other's for today, I guess. So, um, Boom, did you want to start with your first pick, or
yeah.
I could go?
I don't mind. If you want to start with
All
excellent
right,
first, you might as well.
all right. I guess we'll start with yours then.
Da da da.
So, your first pick, we have.
Starting off with a absolute. I guess it'd be considered a classic, right? I know it's a
Oh
certified
yeah,
banger, but quite.
definitely a classic.
Yeah, a little older manga. If you don't know what it's called, it's the 20th Century Boy, and I'm also going to group 21st Century Boy with it because it's basically in the same series, right?
Hmm.
But I know Boggs hasn't finished it, started it, I believe. Spoke about this manga quite a bit. I don't want to hit all the spoilers here, but absolute class act manga. If you love mysteries, and this was my first like intro to mystery mangas, because this and Berserk was what kicked off my manga. Of course One
Yeah,
Piece, but like other than like One Piece and Hunter x Hunter, it was this and Berserk, and then this was my
gotcha.
first like mystery based um, anime. I mean, not anime. Sorry, yikes,
Manga, manga.
manga. I mean, just looking at this picture, I mean, Boggs, just using you because I know you're not there yet. You just look at this and
Yeah.
it's just you have so many questions, right?
Yeah, it just seems terrifying almost.
Yeah,
Like,
because
yeah.
this picture just says it all. I mean, the logo kind of looks like Illuminati, right?
Yeah.
And of course, like the way he's posturing his hands, kind of like a top G pose. Um, and he's like controlling the world almost, right? And it's
Because
just
this is like dives into kind of like big conspiracy type,
yeah, like I was
right?
questioning everything. Like you're just trying to figure out who the person in the mask is. Then I'm not gonna spoil it, but then you realize who it is. But then you're like, is it really him? And it's just like
It's always in the not know. So
yeah. And there's
there's
like a
some
bunch of catfish moments too. And then another great picture. Another reason why I like this, not just the mystery aspect, but like it has a bunch of like the main character right there in the middle. I forgot his
Did you
name.
say it was Kenji?
Kenji, yeah, Kenji. Excellent memory. Vlogs. But Kenji, main character and his two homies, man. Epic pose, right? But
Just always shooting the shit.
yeah, it just because you see a bunch of So it's he's the main character, right? Everything's
Hmm.
tied back to Kenji, right? In some way,
Yeah.
right? I'm gonna say something. It's gonna be like a slight spoiler, Boggs. If you don't want to hear
That's
it, just, it's
no,
not
no.
too
That's
big, right? So essentially, everything that's happening in that world right now, Kenji and these two guys essentially made it up as they were a kid.
yeah.
So
Is it kind of like Usopp with his lies becoming real kind of thing?
in a sense, like you know how you play as a kid, like
Yeah.
me and you can play together when we're kids this age. I'm like a hero, you're a villain.
Hmm.
So essentially, like they wrote down a book. Not a big spoiler, you know it right away, right?
Yeah.
And everything in that book starts like the person who's behind the mask. Essentially, again, kind of a spoiler, but not because you can ultimately see that he's a bad guy. He's
Yeah.
doing everything so that becomes true. So you see these
Gotcha. Like the
flashbacks.
puppet master.
Yeah, you see a flashback of him just trying to remember, right? Like, oh, because it's such a long time ago, and I feel like I have those moments too, where like I see longtime homies, childhood friends, and they're like, "Yo, do you remember when we did this and that?" And I'm like, oh, "Dude, I don't." But just hearing the stories and nostalgia facts, and just seeing how the author used that to connect to me as the reader, but then just the story itself is such a like I don't know how do you say it, like always kept you at the edge of the seat, right?
Yeah, and like Urasawa Naoki is just like such a genius
Mm-hmm.
with pretty much everything he's done. I wanted to ask, did you enjoy this more than you did Monster?
100%. This is my favorite
Yeah,
from his whole
gotcha,
writing, from Pluto, everything. Just
gotcha.
if
I
they
guess we
if they
could
if they didn't make this a live action and they didn't make this like a movie, it would have to be a movie based anime, but it would be absolute gem.
yeah, maybe
Like
like a TV series with how long it is.
yeah, it just and another reason I'm gonna touch on this picture in a second, but another good reason why I really enjoyed this, there's like kind of essentially two halves of the manga
Hmm.
where you get like essentially like a time skip, and then you see like another side of the whole story, like in the future almost. So you see that
I see.
you kind of see the takeover, and then what happens after the takeover. But then
Gotcha.
you're just guessing the whole time, like, oh, what? Because the time skip happens in a crucial moment, and you're like, what happened? What happened? And then now the
Yeah.
whole post time skip, you're figuring out what did happen and what's happening now. You know.
Like you said, it does seem super enjoyable just because like you have no idea what's going on, not
Mm-hmm.
in a bad way, and you're just always at the edge of your seat, wanting to know, but maybe also don't because it might be something
Mm-hmm.
not good that's about to
Yeah.
happen. But yeah,
And it is kind of confusing, dude, because there's a bunch of masks in
yeah,
this show of the bad guy wearing it or like important people wearing it. Like I had to read the
mhm,
whole thing twice, just like
gotcha.
just to see if I catch anything. And then this mask in particular, I just really thought it was really cool because it used to be one of my favorite shows as growing up, Hattori-kun. So that's
Yeah,
why I added it. But it just again nostalgic factors and stuff like that too. But like there's so many like you're like we finally know who he is, and then something else happens, right, where now you're questioning it again, and the way he uses mask or something to hide the identity is so good. The author did such a great job. I was gonna
uh,
add one picture, but I didn't want to add them for spoiler reasons for the viewers and you, Boggs, because when you see it, it's just hilarious, but it's gonna spoil it so bad, you know.
yeah. I will eventually get to this too, and we could talk a bit
Yeah.
more spoiler territory kind of stuff. But and
But
then
like
yeah, two more photos.
yeah, like for me, if I'm picking one manga that you have to read, if I had to convince an anime watcher to become a manga fan, this will be it.
Gotcha.
These next two photos are simple. This is Kenji as a kid, right? Another
Hmm.
thing about this story, there's like a overarching thing that his dream was always to be a rock guitarist, right?
Hmm.
And he uses that like momentum through all those challenges. He's like, I have to go back to what I really love to do is guitar, right? And try to be
Yeah,
like as free as possible. And he uses that. You see it throughout the story how it connects to his overall battle, right?
gotcha.
But again, I think that was all the photos, right? But Oh, there might be one more, the old man one. I don't know if we put that one, but it's fine if we didn't. And that's his like final form almost, right?
Gotcha.
He just
Yeah,
looks
I see
so
that.
epic. And then I
I
don't want
see
to
his
say,
growth.
I don't want to say it, but that scene right there, when you get to that point in the manga, you're like, whew, goosebumps, literal
Uh,
goosebumps.
yeah, no, I'm definitely sold. I didn't drop it, but I didn't pause because I was bored or anything. It's just
It's just
kind of
it's
hefty series, you know.
Yeah, it's
So
really long, but it's for me, like I was buying the manga and like I was legit like I couldn't put it down. Like I was just once you hit
yeah,
that point, I was like just smoking through it, like And
when I have a
again,
big free time, I'll try to binge a series then.
yeah, and then yeah, some people if it's too long, like I said, there's a halfway point. Just read it to there, and then maybe give yourself a break. But
Yeah,
trust me, you're
no,
not gonna
definitely,
want to.
definitely will.
You're not gonna want to. And one of my first mystery mangas and absolute gem to start on.
Yeah, definitely. Maybe like during the holidays or something, I'll
Hmm.
binge this.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was Boom's first pick. Oh shit. Whoops. 20th Century Boys. Boom's first pick,
Sneak peek,
and
eh?
yeah, a little preview for what to expect later. Um, so for my first one, the first two I picked is currently it's a very recent series, still ongoing.
Gotcha.
Um, so the first one I wanted to talk about is this one right here. It's called Supa no Ura de Yanisu Futari. So um, I think it's in English. It's smoking behind the supermarket with you. I think something like that.
Title alone.
So
Title alone is epic. And
yeah,
cover
and
art.
this is like very chill, like you said, based on the title. It's literally as the title implies, just two characters who smokes a cigarette behind the supermarket.
Hmm.
Um, and you know, there's it's like romance, and it's nice having an adult cast romance. If I This is one I brought it up first because this is one I really want you to read, because you like Takagi-san, and this this is kind of like almost mature adult Takagi-san. Just their dynamic between the two. She like teases him in
Gotcha.
a flirty way quite a bit, but it's just a really wholesome, relaxing, cute manga. Um, so the that's kind of the main premise, and these are like the two main characters. But there's also another character in this, which is uh, so here's just like one scene from um, the manga, but she kind of like does a bunch of stuff that kind of makes him blush, which is why I
Yeah.
kind of compared it to Takagi-san.
Gotcha.
And I don't have the picture on me right now, but so the main thing is our main character, the guy character called Sasaki. He goes to the supermarket all the time after like a stressful day at work because he likes this girl that works at one of the registers, and he just feels at peace seeing her because like you know she's cute, she's like full of energy kind of thing. So that's kind of his way of relieving his stress after like a long day at work. Her name's Yamada, and one day he just goes walks kind of behind the supermarket, and this girl called Tayamas invites him to smoke at the back with her. And this is like minor spoilers, but not really because this is something you find out in like the first like one or two
Hmm.
chapters. But Tayama, this goth-looking girl, is Yamada. They're the same person, but completely different in terms of like, um, I guess like personality style and stuff like that. Because Yamada, the cash register girl that Sasaki feels joy kind of just interacting with on a daily basis, she's more like the Genki,
Hmm.
um, happy, you know, happy type.
Wait, so are you saying they're the
And
same character?
yeah, they're the same character, but he's just so dense he doesn't know. Like
Gotcha.
even the
Gotcha.
kanji of the name Yamada flipped is Tayama, so that's kind of like the thing. Only he doesn't know they're the same character, but yeah, they fall into like a bunch of kind of cute moments where Um, like he'll do something that quote unquote Yamada notices, and then in when she's in Tayama form, she kind of like teases him about it or kind of asks why he did that kind of stuff. But just the back and forth of them's very enjoyable to watch, and yeah, definitely definitely something worth reading. Yeah, here's a picture. So this is Tayama, or this is Yamada on the left. So as you can see, very different in terms of like appearance.
Yeah.
But yeah, you can see he says that's right. It's the smile of Yamada-san from the supermarket. It's one of the few things he looks forward to after like a long day at work. But yeah, definitely give this one a read because
Just added
I
it
mean,
to my read list, man. It seems
yeah, and it's
really
only
good.
3 volumes right now.
Gotcha.
Um,
It seems right up my
but yeah,
alley too, you know.
oh, definitely.
And I found out the English title is "Smoking Behind the Supermarket with You," just in
Gotcha.
case. Yeah. It's
Yeah, so definitely give this a read, and I love Tayama's character design too.
yeah, like the gothy type.
Yeah,
Uh, dude,
but
I know this is a manga one, but low key can't wait for the anime.
no,
It'll be
I'm sure this one will get
yeah,
animated too.
especially like this. I feel like these type of shows, like Nagatoro-san, all those, they're
Yeah,
getting more and more. Like you know the recent one from last season. Uh, I really liked it. I forgot the one. I know we talked about it though. It's like
uh,
if I think about it, I'll say it, but I forget.
gotcha. Yeah, but yeah, definitely give this a read. Just to kind of explain like one scene. Um, yeah, actually, I won't go there because I know you're gonna read it. So yeah,
Uh,
so that's my first pick.
appreciate it.
Um,
Appreciate it, little bro.
Smoking Behind the Super with you, supermarket with you, slice of life, adult cast, romance show,
Easy read.
easy read, heartwarming, um, super cute. Definitely give this a read.
Yes, sir.
So that's my first pick, and you kind of spoiled it earlier because of my minor slip up. But for your second pick, you had the one and only
GTO. Great teacher Onizuka. Dude.
the great
Onizuka, right?
Onizuka.
Onizuka, sorry. But before I start on this, the show I was referring to a couple seconds ago was the Daggers in My Heart from last
Okay,
season.
okay,
Yeah.
yeah, I
Shows like
figured.
that. But yeah, now on to the goated manga. Haven't seen the anime, so this is strictly manga based. You know what I mean? If you haven't read this comedy, I guess slice of life, right? You get some aspects in there.
Yeah, yeah.
Just he's the world's greatest teacher. He's what
No, he is.
he's 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 what he's what you want as a teacher. Just someone that absolutely cares about you, but he's got like an orthodox way of not only showing it, but doing his style of learning or teaching. Right from
This is definitely not your textbook teacher of like a
absolutely not.
delinquent,
Yeah, you just look at his
grown up
picture.
delinquent. Yeah,
OP OP picture. I mean, he is a teacher. He does so much for the students too. Like it's not a good class, right? They run into trouble. Like
yeah. They
say
give him the troubled class.
yeah. I mean, the way he deals with it, like he like say for example, a student like tries to pull a prank on the teacher, he'll double it and do it back to him twice
Yeah,
as hard,
yeah.
but like in a fun way.
Like he's a homie and a teacher
Yeah,
at the same time.
he's always up to no good, but at the end of the day, he's always looking out for his students. You know what I mean? Like, even though there's stuff going on, he's always trying to help them out or help them see why they might be thinking incorrectly or things like that.
And it's also kind of like don't judge a person by how they look because he definitely has that delinquent vibe, and he is.
Hmm.
And he's not the smartest guy out there, but compared to like some of the other faculty members, you could just immediately tell he cares about the students more
A
than
lot more.
pretty much pretty much all the other teachers, aside from the other female one. But
Yeah,
yeah,
I'm glad you mentioned the female one because she's like a newer teacher, right? and she's doing everything by the textbook, which she's doing a great job, right? But she sees him teaching, and she's like, oh my gosh, he's doing it a different way, but like the kids absolutely love him and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So that's cool too. But yeah,
And this scene too, this is you can see on the bottom it says end of GTO Volume One, but yeah, this is I mean Volume One minor spoilers, but he goes to the house and smashes through the door, the wall of the parents' room and stuff like that. But he's willing to go to extremes,
questionable
regardless of the
extremes.
consequences. He does before he thinks,
Yeah,
So
I mean,
that's Onizuka for you.
I think we just described everything. I think the next couple things we'll do is just talk about the pictures. But I think
Yeah,
as far as the whole manga, I mean, look at that,
the
man.
facial expressions in this show is great. Like
The,
this one, it's such a memeable show. Like the
exactly.
principal in the car.
The taxi scene,
Um,
right? No,
yeah, and
yeah. Is
there's
it? Yeah.
there's also one more. I wish I would have had it ready, but it's when he's like talking to the girl with the nasty teeth, and like she smiles and she has this gross shark teeth. But yeah, the comedy aspect of this manga is also
It's
amazing.
top tier, man. I can't think of a
Yeah,
funnier show or a funnier manga, dude. Like I was sitting there
this manga is
dying.
great.
I remember I would take screenshots and send them over to you and just be like, dude, look
Yeah,
at this.
it's so good, man. Yeah,
But
the
yeah,
next one,
I mean, it was. I mean,
absolute, absolute Chad.
he's he's what I want to be when I grow up, man. Just look at that.
Yeah, dude.
And it's hilarious because
Onizuka's vibes, man.
yeah, like he's not the richest person, right? But when he gets the cash, he splashes for a
Yeah,
fact, which is cool, man. He's like
yeah.
living a worry-free
Also,
life. Like, man, that's just a life.
and he always gets himself out of
Sticky situations.
tough situations.
Hmm.
A big one in the manga later on. I won't talk too much about it, but
Yeah,
he has to, collect all this money for a trip and kind of blows it, and yeah,
but
gets
yeah,
himself in a pickle, but always manages to find himself out of it.
yeah. And it's cool too. Before we end this one, it's cool that at like towards the middle, towards the end, you start to see like some of the students who were out to get him just build such a trust with him that even if somebody else is out for him, they start to fight for him, right? Realizing how
Yeah,
much of a great teacher he is.
exactly. And I
Uh,
guess we should have brought it up in the beginning. I guess the big premise is he is teaching a class, the troubled class, I guess, where all the students are like troubled students,
mhm,
and they all want to like get him fired. So they kind of do extreme, go through extreme tactics to kind of
mhm.
trap him into getting fired. But like you said, one by one, he begins to like sell to them that
Earn the
like
class
he
over,
actually
right?
cares for them.
Yeah,
Yeah, like
because
wins them over one by one.
like Boggs was saying, the class beforehand was known to just get a new teacher and just have them quit or get fired
Yeah,
instantly. We're
yeah.
doing some crazy stuff. You just read it and you'll see why we're. It's such a great show. I told
And
Boggs
it's also
this. You can go first,
go
buddy.
ahead.
You can go first.
I was just gonna say like it's also like you said super funny, but the the epic scenes hit hard, man. Like you can just really tell how much he cares for the students, and like it does a good way of showing what the students need. Um, which at a lot of times is like kind of like a, I guess, father slash big brother figure,
Hmm.
life coach, whatever you want to call it. But
Yeah,
uh, Izuka does a good job of like filling that gap that the students need.
yeah. It's kind of like how what I am to Boggs, just a big bro. But I
Oh
told
God.
Boggs because he does what he's told to use this as the last picture because at the end of the day he always does it for his students, which is just OP, man.
Yeah,
Absolute goat manga, goat teacher, goat everything. Bat.
totally agree. All right, so that's Boom's second pick,
Hmm.
GTO.
No order, by
Um,
the way. Just three
yeah,
mangas.
yeah, just yeah. And another classic by Boom. Glad he put it in it. Um, some of the some of the old but gold stuff. So, and I guess on the opposite end of the spectrum, my second pick is also a currently publishing manga, and I guess to not to your surprise, Boom, it is The Medalist.
Yes, sir.
And just wanted to put this out because the anime was also pretty recently announced. I hope they do it justice. Um,
Yeah,
Super
I think
excited
I
for
I
this
think
one.
I know I for sure I watched the first season. I told you I didn't watch the second season, but I can't wait for the character design because Hanamichi's looking like he's gonna get buffed for season
Oh
three.
God, I was wondering. I was like, wait, first season, but this is a sick Tokyo Revengers joke. No, he's much better.
Yeah.
Um, yeah. So you could probably guess this is about figure skating, but even if you're not a big fan of figure skating, this is, I think, in my opinion, definitely worth the read. The premise is that we have a ex, or I guess retired slash ex pro ice dancer, which is a little bit different than figure skating, but um, that's Akiraji Sensei to the guy, and his coaching Inori, which is a young girl. Um, and that's, I guess, the main premise. But so Inori has like dreams of being, a gold medalist Olympic figure skater, but
Yeah.
including her family, she just never got the opportunity to kind of actually practice the way her sister did, and um, she's doesn't excel much in other aspects of her life. Like, even her mom kind of thinks that maybe not necessarily a fad, but like even if she does do it, she won't amount to anything in terms of being like a figure skater. So, uh, which I guess I could go to the first picture. Um, so yeah, in the first volume, you could just see how like broken mentally, I
Oh
guess, and
my
like
gosh,
confidence
dude.
wise, she's
The
just
the
purely depressed.
the art is just off the chain. I mean, look at the detail.
Yeah,
You just see the
and
emotion.
yeah, that like I'm glad you mentioned that because the emotion they do such a good job of kind of depicting even like moments before this scene. You could just see how when the mom is kind of talking to the coach, minor spoilers again, she's kind of just even though like Inori, the main character, she's sitting right next to her, like the mom's kind of convincing the coach, like, oh no, she doesn't have to figure skate, blah blah blah. Um, she looks up to figure skaters, but that doesn't mean she can be a figure skater, kind of thing. And especially because Inori is, I guess, quote unquote old compared to most other kids who start figure skating.
Mm.
So the odds of her actually making it's very slim. But um, our coach Akiraji, he kind of vouches for her, says that I'll take her as my student because I think she's great and she has potential, and that's what kind of starts off their two the two of their journey of making Inori a Olympic gold medalist. And
Excellent scene
another,
choice too, because if you go back to that picture, or you don't really have to, but you
yeah,
can see the middle where like I'm guessing just because of what you said, he's the mom's talking to him, and you can just see in the middle panel where he's like almost gritting his teeth, like I have to say something. You know what I mean?
yeah. And
Excellent choice, my man.
once you start reading too, you start to it slowly becomes it gets revealed to you that the coach also has like a past,
Mm,
like a kind of similar backstory, uh, and kind of wanted to give her the opportunity that he necessarily didn't have.
got you.
And that's why like he's willing to go like the extra mile all the time to make sure her dream, which is now part of his dream, come true. So um it's just such a motivational happy story, and I've cried so many times reading this, even like scenes like this or even like happy scenes.
Mm-hmm.
um it does so uh it excels so much on many emotional levels. But
Key word of the day,
And
man.
here's another,
Emotion.
yeah, and this is filled with it. And yeah, this is also kind of, you see how like she, this is like her kind of releasing some of her pent up emotions that she never put into words.
Mm-hmm.
And she finally found the courage to say what she wanted to say. And yeah, another very emotional moment. And you could kind of see on the top of the panel the coach is like kind of shocked, but also it kind of does reflect like his past, his backstory, but also just seeing her like such a young girl kind of being able to like say these things, and kind of stand up for herself and her dreams of um, becoming a figure skater.
Yo.
And I guess the two pictures I showed were kind of the more sad, I guess, sad moments, and here's a kind of happy moment. Um, and
Wholesome.
kind of, yeah, super wholesome between the two. Such a good coach and student dynamic, and this is from the anime announcement picture. But
Whew.
once you start seeing her figure skating, you honestly feel like the coach sometimes, coach slash like dad, whatever you want to call it. But just seeing her win gives you so much joy,
Dude, and it's
just because you have the journey with her.
and I don't know if you've done like research, but I don't know if you've seen it, but like it's so clutch how they base it on like real figure skaters and stuff like that. It just because like the coach
And
is
it does a
supposed
good
to be
job.
like it's supposed to be like the real life Jimmy McElroy, which is clutch how they put that in the story.
Is this? Are you for real?
Yeah, Jimmy McElroy.
Oh,
Yeah.
but yeah, and like I said, you don't have to be a big figure skating fan to enjoy this.
Mm-hmm. It's just cool they have small
So
touches like that, where the backstory is almost
yeah,
the same.
and actually, I think reading this would kind of put you more into figure skating as well. So
You get what you're trying to
it's
say.
always good to have.
Vox, you
Hey
better
man,
get the blades on.
I used to watch a lot of figure skating with my mom, so
I did
I
too.
have a bit of,
Who?
bit of prior knowledge going
Yeah.
into this.
Watching like Chaz Michael Michaels and stuff like that skate used to be my favorite.
Good times.
You know what
So
that
yeah,
is?
that's my
You know what
second
that
pick.
is, Big Dog?
From not kicking and screaming.
Blades of
Blades of
Glory.
Glory,
Yeah,
all time classic.
it is.
All
Yes,
right, so
sir.
yep, that's my second pick, medalist. And for Boom's final pick,
Yes,
he
sir.
has
It was almost just that we did an emotional manga before this one because this one is also very emotional, depressing, sad, all the above. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Soranin is this is one of my favorite authors, by the way. He did Oyasumi Pum Pum and I believe Golden Sheep too. I had to double check on Golden Sheep, but Soranin is I feel like one that fairly people talk about. More so, they always go to Oyasumi Pum Pum.
Soranin's one where if you're a Asano fan,
Mm-hmm.
you read.
Yeah, I mean
But
this
yeah,
one
it's mostly.
you see similar emotions as Pum Pum. Um, just to give you a little backstory, the girl you see on here, her name is, if I remember, it's like Meiko, right? Yeah, Meiko, and it just shows essentially her journey through and struggles through having a relationship, having happiness, freedom, and almost going into adulthood, right? Because she has a boyfriend in the show, which we might see some pictures of later on. But his name is Taneda, and you just see them. I think it was like a year or two after they graduate university, and they just do the typical life things. Like they both have a job, and one day,
Starts off very mundane adult life, right?
yeah, and then she just like, I'm done. I'm not happy at this job. She just quits, right?
Mhm.
And Taneda's dream was always had like start up his band. He had a band in college, and then she convinces him or she motivates him to do it, keep doing it, and you just see them like the new life, struggling a little bit because they're not working, and you see see the advances she's making and growing as a person, right? Which
Yeah.
comes with a lot of like a lot of emotion because they split up for a bit, or they don't really split up, but they have fights. It's a lot of things going. It's just real, you know what I mean?
It's a very mature theme, you know.
Exactly. And then I don't want to spoil it too much, but this is like a common thing in his stories, right? But unfortunately, one of the characters passes away, right, due to an accident, and then that's where the story really begins, where she has to like almost continue on his dream, so she becomes the lead in the band, and then you really see her like she loses everything, and this is where the sadness hits the lowest, and then you see her slowly like her friends, his bandmates cheer her up, and she starts following his dream. And at the end, you see her performing a concert, and it's just like it's sort of a happy ending, but you just see her grow as a character and go through adulthood, and it's I think a lot of people can relate, maybe not in terms of like, oh, like guitar and singing wise, but just going through all the struggles of life and how many they have, right? And
Yeah,
just
and despite this being a sad story, it's also kind of a happy story in terms of getting old friends, bandmates
mhm.
together to kind of pick um pick the book back up, I guess, like kind
Yeah.
of continuing their hobbies they once had to try to make it to the big leagues.
Mhm.
And just I think a beautiful message in terms of, you know, regardless of how much time passed and their age, it's never too late to kind of switch gears and go back to trying to make your, I guess, real dreams come true.
Mhm.
Which I think there's some similarities in that aspect of the story with Medalist, but
Yeah.
yeah,
And
and
you've read this too, right? I think.
yeah,
Yeah, like I know like one of the parts that like I've made a bunch of things right where I've seen people always talking about like the scene when Taneda passes away, right, in the accident.
mm,
I've seen some people say, at that time it was kind of a hard point in their life. Some people
yeah,
said he knew it was a red light and went through, and that just makes it
yeah,
deeper, right?
yeah,
And it's just
yeah.
the
Because there is
he
like a
does,
bunch of internal battles that's being fought in
yeah.
this.
The author does such a good job, like messing and just toying with our emotion in a good way.
Yeah,
Again, Oyasumi Pun Pun, similar theme, right? Where it's not similar theme, but like you get the same emotion in there, which that's why he's one of my favorite mangakas. But
yeah.
this story is, I guess,
Like,
not
what a day.
as not as depressing. So I would recommend this. Possibly that's why I put it on here. Is if your first introduction to his manga style is
And
it's
this is a short one,
yeah. I think,
just 28 chapters, 2 volumes.
mm-hmm.
Um, but yeah, this scene, this picture you picked, man, this scene hit
It's epic,
hard.
right? And this is not the Taneda, but this is one of his boys. And this scene was
Yeah,
because he was tearing up too, but he was trying to show like be strong, right? And yeah, I think I'm pretty sure I teared up or cried, dude. It's
yeah, I cried here.
because
Yeah,
it's
just
and then we used to live in Japan, right? So like I can imagine like so if this scene was happening, I can picture in my head somewhere I can relate to it and just almost
yeah, just,
put my sh- put it put my put on his shoes, right? But
yeah.
yeah,
No,
it
definitely,
was.
and it's Asano did such a good job in just 2 volumes, packing all of this in there,
Mm-hmm.
um, and kind of make us care about these characters in such short time span.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
just and roller coaster of emotions, both happy and sad. Like the final concert you're talking about earlier, even even the scene when she first picked up the guitar and they spoiler alert, they the band members, the friends kind of see uh him in her, like almost like a silhouette of Taneda when she picks up the guitar kind of thing. But yeah,
Yeah, I mean,
definitely worth reading for a quick short read
hmm
if
I
you're
mean,
looking for something decent.
it's such because when I picked this up, I got it just because I read Oesmi Punpun and realized it's same author name. So I was like, oh,
Yeah,
you look at the
you need a
title and
more.
you like instantly think, oh, this guy's got range. Maybe this is a happy anime or something or a
Yeah,
manga. But then, because the character designs, such a nice simple character design. But then it's like, I'm going. What am I doing to my heart, man? Going through another journey.
yeah. Like you said, this is definitely much more better for
First
first time
timers.
reading. Poon,
Yeah.
Poon Poon is not for the faint of hearted, and Sorani is definitely more consumable for a wider audience.
It just shows the mangaka's ability to draw so much emotion on just pen and paper, man. It's incredible. Definitely
No, yeah,
recommend.
without a doubt. So yeah, that's Sorani. Glad you mentioned this one. Another another classic. You went with the classics today, and all certified bangers for sure. So
Certified headbangers. That's all we go with.
I guess that helps me segue into my classic pick that I chose. What's
Dun dun
Yotsubato?
dun.
Uh, so yeah, this is a purely slice of life, some comedy in it. If you recognize the art, maybe you've seen Azumanga Daioh. This is manga only, unfortunately, but um, pretty similar in sense of kind of the wholeheartedness, simplicity in the story. But as the title suggests, Yotsubato follows the main character Yotsuba, and that's pretty much all it is. It's just her, her, I guess, I don't like not adopted, but like I guess her dad, I guess you could say, and her neighbors, which her neighbors are a family of three girls, three sisters, and she befriends them, and it's just a whole bunch of like um, cute, funny shenanigans they get themselves into, but also I guess pretty mundane, but that's the whole point of slice of life. And it's just her and people who she's close to kind of interacting with people. Um, and it's just so funny, like some of the, I guess, the wide range of emotions, because
Yeah.
Yotsuba is just a little girl, and she does get annoying sometimes, but she's a little girl, and I think this manga captured what a 5-year-old girl is like, just like super curious, doesn't think much. um it is very easy to make them happy or sad or angry, so it's
Yeah. I think I read one volume and I really enjoyed it, but need to get back to it. This is a nice like you can just read whenevs, right?
yeah, it's like not episodic, but episodic manga version, whatever you want to call it.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I just kind of want to show some of like the, I guess, funny scenes. And what I really like about this is the dad, um, the dad very,
That's a water gun, by the
kind of,
way. Just to let you guys know, it's a
yeah,
water
yeah, it's a lot of, and the dad really like kind of plays with Yotsuba, really gets into it so that she could have a fun time. And yeah, and this just a bunch of wide range of emotions by Yotsuba.
gun.
We got her like, shocked, um, angry. This is one of her dad's friends, and like he kind of pokes fun at her, and she actually gets pretty pissed off. Um, and I think this panel kind of shows what the manga is about. Yotsuba kind of screws up, gets paint everywhere, and the dad, he doesn't get mad, but he just instead just say the paint doesn't come off, and you could just see the absolute shock in her face. And uh, I picked this one because the bottom left corner, you can see Yotsuba happy, and just seeing her happy like this with their eyes like that, it's super heartwarming. It's just like random little things that as adults seems boring, but any tiny thing, kind of as a child, could bring joy to your life. And
Mm-hmm.
this is one where she's just kind of tying ribbons everywhere around the house, and yeah, just gets so much joy from that. And yeah, I guess this kind of gets into like some of the random stuff Yotsuba gets herself into, but she just kind of jumps on the rubber ball and kind of bounces off. And I think if I remember correctly, she goes for round two or something like that. But yeah, so that's Yotsubato older, but definitely if you're looking for something heartwarming, maybe after reading some Sorani or Oyasumi Pun Pun, you want to change of pace to kind of bring some joy back into your life, then definitely read Yotsubato.
Yes, sir. I mean, phew, I'm for sure for me, Medalist and Smoke Break Behind a Superstore, or I forget what the title is. Definitely gotta read
Yeah,
those two. Those
yeah,
two definitely sound like headbangers.
yeah, no, definitely. And Medalist is a bit of a more longer read comparative to
This
the
one, right?
Super one, but
Yeah,
yeah, definitely both worth watching
100%.
or reading, I guess.
But yeah, we'll definitely do a series of this just because there's so many great mangas out there too. So
Yeah,
just never stop, never stop having great mangas, which is nice. And
yeah. Just wanted to give you guys some old but gold and some upcoming new
yeah,
goodies. So
and I do like because in anime you are limited. With manga, I feel like you get so much variety and so much endless genres. Because some of them
yeah,
you
and
just
can
they
go
never make it to
much.
anime or anything.
Yeah,
So I know you got a couple in your pocket. I bet.
only
So,
thing stopping manga readers are hiatuses, unfortunately.
uh, there. Speak of that, this next time we do a top manga recommends that are on hiatus. Hiatus
Feels
version.
bad. Feels bad.
Yeah. But
So yeah,
yeah.
that's our three picks. Hope you guys enjoyed, and even more so, hope you guys at least check one of these out because um, definitely good ones to check out. So
Yes, sir. Stay frosty, boys.
all right, peace. Later.